The question of November 2017. November 2017. November 2017, question 4A. So the question says, Bipo Limited is planning to launch a new product into the market. In order to determine the introduction, selling prices of the product, a market research was undertaken. The following information has been obtained from the research under two possible selling prices. We have 300 and 350. So we are given the sales volume for both. Additional information is that the variable production cost would be shillings 120 per unit for production volumes up to and including 100,000 units each year. However, if production exceeds 100,000 units each year, the variable production cost per unit would fall to 110 for all units produced. Advertising cost will be shillings 9 million per annum at a selling price of 300 and 9,700,000 per annum at a selling price of shillings 350. Fixed production costs would be shillings 4,500 per annum. Now advise the management of Bipo Limited on the optimal selling price per unit of the new product. So as you can see, the first thing is to determine what is the objective of the question. What is the objective of the person who seeks to make this decision? And because this company is seeking to launch a product, obviously they want to maximize profits. So the objective here is to maximize profits. And I told you, we also come up with the general formula at the objective. And the general formula is that profit is equal to revenue minus cost. That is what we call the general formula. The next thing that we need to identify is called options. Now, options, it is what is within control of the decision maker. What is within control of the decision maker. Now, what is within control of the decision maker in this case is simply the selling prices. The selling prices. And here is considering the selling price of 300 and the selling price of 350. From there, number 3, we identify the outcomes. And I told you outcomes refer to the states of nature because they are beyond control. They are beyond control of the decision maker. So we need to know what is that is beyond control. In this case here, there are 2 states of demand. We can call them sales volume. Sales volume. And although they are called sales volume, both of them, they are different because you can see the probabilities are different. You see, we have the probability of 0.4 plus 0.5 plus 0.1. That gives us a 1 in the first selling price. Then we have another one of 0.3 and 0.3 and 0.4. That is also a 1. So this tells you that these are 2 types of outcomes. There are 2 types of outcomes. And if there are 2 types of outcomes, that tells you in our step number 4, in deciding the type of our decision, This one is multiple stages. Multiple stages. It is multiple stages because you can see we have more than one here. After that, we go to step number 5, where we prepare with the specific formula. The specific formula. The specific formula. Now, the specific formula, it is now a modification of this one. How are we going to get to the revenue? The revenue obviously will be volume times the price, or units sold times the price. So units sold times the price. That gives us now the revenue here. Then we minus the costs. That's how we have 2 types of cost, actually 3 types. We have the variable costs. So we have units made times unit variable cost. Unit variable cost as the variable cost per unit. Then you can see we have advertising costs. So we subtract advert costs. That will also be subtracted. And then there is the fixed costs. There is the fixed costs. There is the fixed costs. Fixed production cost. So that now will give us the formula. This is now what will give us the payoff or the profit. The payoff or the profit. So you can see the difference between the general formula. General formulas is just revenue and cost. But the specific, it is still up to here, this is revenue. And here, up to here, if I put in bracket, these ones, this way, these are costs. But now you can see they are more detailed. That's why it's called specific. From there, you prepare, we can compute these ones here before we prepare the summary, or we can decide to do all of them at once. And I want us to do all of them at once. So number 6 is, now what informs whether you do them at once or not is how many they are. If the formula is gonna very many things, it is better you first of all deal with it than seeking to combine with a tree, because the space may be congested. But these ones, they're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 columns will be sufficient. So you prepare a summary. Summary, here we are going to do a decision tree. A decision tree. And we need to see how the tree will look like. This tree is a very simple one. It's a very simple one because we are just debating the prices like that, the sketch. We are now doing the sketch for the tree. We are debating the prices. There are 2 of them. And then from there, we have the unit. We have the units. The variable costs, let me see. The variable costs are not changing with the volume. They are, yeah. Yeah, so it's just very simple. So the units here, there are 3. So that means, as we did with the other question, you count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we are going to have 6 tails. We are going to have 6 tails. Once you have known how many tails you'll have, I told you utakuja hapa at the end of your page and you now write this, the contents of this, the contents of this. So obviously here I will have the profit. Nitaiachia ka space kubwa so that I will write the formula there in terms of initials. Then I have fixed costs. Then I have advert costs. Then I will have variable costs. Variable costs. Column for variable costs. Then I will have a column for revenue. And then I will have a column for units. And this space that remains, it is where I will have my decision tree. So tunaweza ipanga namna hiyo. So if I call my units A, then my revenue will be the A times the price. A times price, and I call them B. And I call them B. I have variable cost. It will be A times costs. And I call them C. Advertising, I can call it D, and this one I can call it E. So my profit will be B minus C minus D minus E. That is how my profit will look like. So we have said we are doing 6 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. that have two options. So this is number 3. So that will be the end of my diagram. Once you finish up to that point, let me know. Oh, you are there. Okay. So if you're already there, we are debating two prices. The price of price is 300. Price is 300. That's what you're debating. And the price of 350. The price of 350. 300, 350. Then for the units, we have 120,000 with a probability of 0.4. We have 110,000 with a probability of 0.5. We have 140,000 with a probability of 0.1. Then we have 108,000 with a probability of 0.3. 100,000 again with a probability of 0.3. And 94,000 with a probability of 0.4. So we can put the units and we just put them in thousands. This is 120, this is 110, this is 140, this is 108, this is 100, and this is 94. We can put them that way to make our work easier. Put them that way. Are you already here where I am? Okay, good. So let's multiply these ones with the selling prices. So this one, which were 120, multiplied by 300. That gives us 36,000. Then take 110 multiplied by 300. That gives us that 3,000. Take 140 multiplied by 300. That gives us 42,000. Take 108 multiplied by 350. That's 7,800. I take 100 multiplied by 350. 35,000. And take 94 multiplied by 350. That is giving us that 2,900. That's 2,900. Then tukikuja kwa variable cost tunaambiwa it is 120 for production up to and including 100. But if you go beyond 100, the variable cost is 110. So you can see this one is more than 100, so tutatumia 110. So utasema 120 times 110. Upate 13,200. Even this one is also more than 100, so it is 110 times 110. That is 12,100. This is also more than 100, so it is 140 times 110. 15,400. This is also more than 100, so it is 108 times 110. This is 11,880. Now this is exactly 100, but we are told the price, the cost of 120 is up to and including 100. So this 100 is now will be charged at 120. So it's 100 times 120. That will be 12,000. And then 94 is below 100, so multiplied by 120. That gives us 11,280. That's about the variable cost. Now, when you look at information 2, inasema advertising costs would be 9 million for price of 300 and 9.7 for 350. So hapa kwa 300, weka 9,000 because our figures are in thousands. And then here, put 9,700, 9,700, 9,700. That's how the adverts are. Then according to information 3, production cost would be 4.5 per annum. So that one you put everywhere, 4.5, 4,500, because our figures are in thousands. Because our figures are in thousands. That way. Let's now quickly start subtracting to say that 6,000 minus 13,200 minus 9,000 minus 4,500. I'm getting 9,300. Yeah. Make sure you also do so that if we disagree, you let me know. That 3,000 minus 12,100 minus 9,000 minus 4,500 is 7,400. 7,400. Then 42,000 minus 15,400 minus 9,000 minus 4,500 is 13,100. And then that is 7,800 minus 11,880 minus 9,700 minus 4,500 is 11,720. 35,000 minus 12,000 minus 9,700 minus 4,500 is 8,800. That's 2,900 minus 11,280 minus 9,700 minus 4,500 is 7,420. Believe that we have agreed on the figures. So if we have, we need to compute the expected monetary values. So for this node 1 here, node 1, you simply take this probability here, 0.4, multiplied by the value that is at the 5 there, 9,300, plus this one, 0.5, multiplied by 7,400, plus this one, 0.1, multiplied by 13,100. So this is 0.4 times 9,300 plus 0.5 times 7,400 plus 0.1 times 13,100. You get 8730. Then when I come to number 2, I have to do the same, 0.3 multiplied by 11,720 plus 0.3 times 8,800 plus 0.4 times 7,420. So this is 0.3 times 11,720 plus 0.3 times 8,800 plus 0.4 times 7,420. It's 9124. So those figures, you can choose to write them here or you ignore 8730 and 9124. So that for number 3, we pick the higher EMV at node 1 and 2. And the higher is this one, 9124. So that is coming from here. So you mark that way. So do you mark that way? So what do you advise them? The advice is we charge shillings 350. That's the advice. We charge 350. And if someone was to ask you value of information, you simply get the difference. 9124 minus 8730. 9124 minus 8730. It is 394. So I believe that we are okay and we can call it a lesson at that point. Then we pick up from there in our next lesson. Is that fine? Yeah, so thank you so much and have a good day, and continue encouraging your colleagues to join us at Destiny Technical Training Institute. We are much committed to ensure that we deliver value to you. Thank you.